Soul. I'm here with Northwest Nonprofit Media today, and this is our weekly show at 10 a.m. Every Tuesday. And today I have two special guests with us today. We have Karissa Locke from Google. And we also have Carol Lee of TruePax. And today we're going to be discussing Hangouts on Air and how they can benefit your nonprofit. So we'll get right to the meat of the project. First, I want to say, if you have some questions, we'll be following along with YouTube. You can put them on the comment sections on YouTube, and you can also comment on Google+. And if you do have questions, we hopefully will see those and get to them as they come up online for us. So I'm just going to jump right over to Karissa Locke right now. And Karissa, I want to thank you for being here today. And can you tell us a little bit about Hangouts on Air?
Yes, of course. Well, thank you for having me. And Hangouts on Air is a really new, exciting feature that was just released a few weeks ago to the public. So I guess I'll start first with just talking about a regular Hangout and what that is. So the regular Hangout is video chatting with up to 10 people live, and you log on to a Hangout through your Google Plus page. And Hangouts on Air has really just taken that regular Hangout and video chat capability to the next level. And the Hangout on Air allows you to broadcast your Hangout live. So the way that we're doing this right now today, and anyone could be on here viewing if they check into the Northwest Nonprofit Media Google Plus page. You're also able to embed a Hangout into your website. So that's a great capability as well if people are just on your website and you're able to attract your regular traffic to your live broadcast as well. It is linked with YouTube, so you are automatically getting your Hangout on Air in your YouTube channel once it's complete, and it lives there in your channel. You can be resharing it to your blog, editing and reposting your Hangout wherever you'd like to share it.
Awesome. Thank you, Karissa. You know, I'm sure some people are going to have some questions here along the line, but we're also going to get Carol Lee a little bit involved right now. Carol Lee, I understand you're with TruePax in Seattle. Can you tell us just a little bit about TruePax first?
Sure. TruePax is a startup organization that I'm building, and it's really a group of highly motivated, highly talented young interns that we are showcasing their gifts. And the platform that we're using and really utilizing is the Google Plus platform, and that's in all areas. So Google Plus, the Hangouts, anything that we can utilize and pull in Google, we're going to be doing that. But it is showcasing the youth in the community through events and other real hands-on experiences for these talented ones.
So have you used the Hangouts on Air specifically for your nonprofit? And if so, what have you done with them?
We actually have. We had a Jazz Fest event at Matthews Estate in Woodinville, and it was a benefit concert to benefit Seattle Union Gospel Mission, and we had Hangouts. We didn't have the Hangouts on Air yet, the regular Hangout set up, so we streamed Fusion, which was a young youth band, on Google Hangouts on Air, and we were very, very excited to see, people from Brazil and Spain and almost 300 come in to our Hangout without any advertising. So we're extending the reach now through Hangouts on Air to get a global perspective. But at the Jazz Fest, what was exciting is that we were able to extend the reach for Matthews, for the charity Seattle Union Gospel Mission, for Fusion, for what we were doing. People were able to join in to the excitement through the Hangout, and that was very, very exciting for our event.
Well, that's awesome to hear, Carol Lee. Are there any other plans of using Hangouts for more concerts, or are there any other plans of using it in any other prospective ways to benefit your nonprofit? And I'm seeing not only just your nonprofit, but for other nonprofits that you're helping out.
Absolutely. I think it's a wonderful way to get the word out on nonprofits and the wonderful causes that they're supporting. So we'll be doing several more Fusion Hangouts. They have several gigs coming up, the Bellevue Jazz Festival, student showcase coming up on June 2nd. They're in the Woodinville Summer Concert Series on July 4th. So as we get approval to do these Hangouts on Air, we'd love to stream live at those events. In addition, you can take that to other venues. So St. Matthews wants to have a Hangout with the winemaker, or some of the other organizations that we work with are very, very interested in using this platform to reach out to the community and get the word out on their nonprofit or their business or their band. It can actually apply to many, many areas. So we're looking forward to really showcasing the talents of the TruePax youth. We call them life changers because they're highly gifted and ready to impact the world. Very proud of them, and so I like to use Hangouts as much as possible to showcase their talents.
That's awesome, Carol. It's awesome what you're doing there, and it's great. That's what nonprofits are about, is making a difference and making an impact. And it's cool to see that the youth are involved with you there. I'm going to go over to Karissa. Karissa, a couple of questions here. First of all, what are the differences between a regular Hangout and a Hangout on Air?
Sure. So in your regular Hangout, it's not automatically recorded, and you're limited to those 10 people interacting, so it's not streaming live, you're not having public viewers, and it's not being recorded. So, for example, some great uses of a regular Hangout for a nonprofit would be to get on and have a meeting. So maybe you have people at different locations, you have different chapters located across the U.S., and you're just wanting to have an internal meeting. You can share documents, you can screen share, watch YouTube videos together. So there's a lot of capabilities there to really accomplish great work. The Hangouts on Air, you're going to want to utilize when it's a public-facing Hangout. So if you want to be able to attract viewers and have them watch live, if you want it automatically recorded to share later, then you're going to want to use the Hangout on Air. So that is your public-facing ability to broadcast your message out to the world, where the regular Hangout you're going to be using for internal purposes to chat with up to 10 people.
Awesome. A couple other questions. When somebody sets up a Hangout on Air, how do they set it up with YouTube? Do they set it up with their nonprofit account? And will the recording go over to the nonprofit's account, or does this stay on your personal account?
So the way that it's functioning right now, it's kind of set up automatically for you. So when you log in to start your first Hangout on Air, it will automatically have you verify your YouTube channel. At this point, this is your personal YouTube channel, so it's going to automatically link you to whatever your YouTube channel is. So it will be recorded there. Even if it's your personal YouTube channel, once the recording is finished, you can then download that and re-upload it to the appropriate organization's page. So that's something that you're just going to want to log in, do a practice Hangout on Air, and see what YouTube channel it's automatically linking you to. And something that's important to keep in mind is that this is a brand new product. So it's really exciting that they've went ahead and released this to the public, and they're going to continue making improvements. So I'll be excited to see where the capabilities go in the future as far as linking different YouTube channels, but that is the way that it's functioning as of right now.
Awesome. And the big thing I want to mention myself is when people are actually loading these up in their nonprofits, it's very vital to put in keywords that people are going to search, because these videos are searchable by Google search engines, and anybody wanting to search for your particular nonprofit or just maybe the project or campaign that you're speaking about. So it's very vital that you really keyword your title also. Karissa, a couple other things are how well will these work for just staff meetings and board meetings? I mean, has nonprofits tried these out with board meetings yet?
Yeah, and I think that what's important to keep in mind when deciding, is this appropriate for a meeting, is this appropriate for a board meeting or a press release, what you want to think about is, do you want the public to be able to watch this? Because anytime you do a Hangout on Air, it is public, and anyone who comes to your Google Plus page can watch it. So as long as it's something that you want to be public-facing, it's a great use. If you want it to be a private meeting, then you're going to want to do the regular Hangout. So that's the most important question to ask yourself. Who do you want this to be publicly visible? Who do you want to be able to see this?
Okay. Hangouts on Air. I know when you first sign up for YouTube, you have a certain time limit on YouTube. How can a nonprofit eliminate that? What are the steps necessary to lengthen your time limit from like 15 minutes or smaller to a larger time limit for your Hangout on Air?
It's actually a seamless process, so usually you just have a 15-minute limit for your personal YouTube channel. But in that automatic verification process I talked about, when you go to start your first Hangout on Air and you verify your YouTube channel, that actually bumps you up to a 3-hour limit. So now you have up to 3 hours to be recording your Hangout.
And 3 hours should be plenty long enough for somebody.
Plenty of time. I don't know if you could keep viewers. If you can keep viewers' attention for longer than 3 hours, I'm impressed.
Well, actually, Fusion can keep people's attention for longer.
That's true. That's true. So if that is the case, then you'll just want to go ahead and restart another Hangout, part 2.
And that's awesome to hear that too. To hear that you can go longer than 15 minutes. You're able to do this, and it is easy to download it and just transfer it over onto your nonprofit account. I know Google has really improved this since the first beginnings of Hangouts, and to be able to have this for everyone, that's huge, because when they first come out with this, you had to apply through YouTube as a partner, and it was a long process. So now you're hooked right up with it. So it's great to be able to have this now. Carol Lee, let me ask you a couple more questions here. You're stating that TruePax is a new nonprofit, and you're working with young adults. Are you particularly looking and working with young adults through colleges, or how can people come into your nonprofit and become part of your nonprofit?
Actually, we're going even younger than adults. So we start at 16. The sweet spot is junior, senior in high school, freshman, sophomore in college, because that's the prime age where they're really formulating their goals, their interests, their talents are really being showcased. So we're focusing on the young, and the real inspiration was when we were looking at some of my friends and their sons and daughters who have gone through college, and they're at the graduation day after thousands of dollars of college expenses, and they look at their parents and say, now what do I do? Well, that sort of gave me the impetus to say, I think we need to have intentional learning, intentional experiences while they're still young, before they reach graduation. So this is why I'm gathering these elite groups of highly, functioning, highly talented interns and saying, you're a life changer. Let's use your gifts to showcase and impact the world, and start learning now how to plug in, how to connect, how to network, how to get internships, and it's a very intentional, real life, meaningful experiences. So this is a by invitation, by referral. I'm not looking to post this wide and say, everybody call me up. It's more, I'm using my life changers to refer to others that they know, because like attracts like. So a lot of these amazing young people have other friends that are just as talented. But we also want to give them a chance to give back to the community. So I'm looking for individuals that have a higher calling to give back and use their gifts in the community.
Thanks, Carol Lee. And I just noticed Anita Watley of Tiny Diamond Earrings just joined us also. Thank you, Anita, for coming in today.
Hi.
She is. Can you tell us a little bit about Tiny Diamond Earrings?
Tiny Diamond Earrings is a mentoring program for low-income and homeless women here in Seattle in the Puget Sound area, and we serve women in a variety of ways. We provide bus tickets for them, and we provide welcome home baskets for women that are transitioning from shelter to their new home. Sometimes they transition from a shelter into transitional housing. So we just provide a variety of services for them. A mentoring program also is for women that want someone to walk alongside them and aid them and encourage them as they go through the circumstances that they're going through.
Awesome. And we've been talking today about Hangouts on Air, and I was just kind of wondering, how have you used Hangouts on Air? Have you used just regular Hangouts, and which one have you been using with your nonprofit, Tiny Diamond Earrings?
Well, ours is, we've been doing it kind of like a rough draft, seeing how it works for us. And one of the things that we wanted to use it for is for volunteerism. Just letting people know about Tiny Diamonds, what we do, how we do it, and if they want to become involved in it. So we just wanted it for people to come on, and I'm really enjoying that we have Hangouts on Air now, and we'll be able to select different organizations that have the same mindset to serve the homeless communities as we do, and just get together and see if they want to be a part of our program.
Well, awesome. We definitely appreciate that, and that is huge. You know, being able to market yourself, being able to, some of the things that I've kind of thought about as far as using it for nonprofits is being able to announce a new program or announce a new campaign that you're bringing up, and a big thing that you can do with this. Not only do you get to have it on YouTube, but you can embed these videos onto your own website. So that's important. Others can be able to see it from your website. You can do a weekly show. You can do a monthly. You can do however you could do it daily as far as that goes. It doesn't have to be 3 hours long. It can be a 5-minute video. Just to be able to show others what you're doing. Something that we here at Northwest Nonprofit Media are working on is bringing more nonprofits in, allowing them to take more time and to talk about their storyline. And this could be very vital. I really feel if you have a story, if you have a person within that you've impacted within your nonprofit, you're able to tell this. You're able to, and possibly even bring that person on. Sometimes it's hard to do, depending on what type of community you're working with. I know some of the homeless population do not like to be on camera, but there are ways to avoid having them actually being on camera. So using Hangouts on Air, it can be vital. It can really help out to grow not only just your donors, but just those that would want to be involved for volunteerism also. So Hangouts on Air has been a huge step that I've really noticed from Google. Karissa, you know, Google's got just not Hangouts on Air. They have Google Plus. They have many other items out there. I know that we've been working with Google Apps for nonprofits, so it's just not limited to just Hangouts on Air. Do you have any information as far as other nonprofit items that Google has out there possibly for nonprofits, Karissa?
Yeah, there's really a wealth of resources for nonprofits that Google offers. I'd highly encourage you to just check out Google for Nonprofits, and there's a lot of great resources on that website that you can apply for. Apps, a branded YouTube channel. There's a lot of great offerings that are available at no cost for nonprofits. And, you know, I think something that's really exciting about Google Plus is that it's really a social layer across all Google products. You know, so you're already using search, you're already using Gmail, if you're using apps through Google for Nonprofits, and all those other resources already using YouTube. This really just takes it to the next level and is really streamlining your Google experience, both for you as a nonprofit and for your users and for your audience that's engaging with you. And Hangouts is just one more way that we're doing that. You know, it's streaming live through YouTube. You can share docs. You know, everything's really being streamlined to create a better user experience. And so I would certainly encourage any nonprofit leader to check out all the other resources and tools that Google has available. Definitely.
So when you speak about user experience, I want to go back to Hangouts on Air. Can you give any tips? Do you have any tips for nonprofits or for leaders or the host of a Hangout on Air? What is the proper etiquette of holding nonprofits on air or a Hangout on Air?
Well, there's a few things you want to think about just to get the best quality Hangout on Air possible. So things like using an external camera. For example, today I've just really easily hooked up an external camera that I've set up on top of my laptop to get a clearer picture. You can also use external speakers, especially if you're going to be doing something a little more active in your Hangout, just to help you hear your participants better. If your volume on your laptop, isn't quite loud enough for you, you want to think about your lighting, your location. What's the background noise like? What is your internet connection like? So just kind of thinking about things like that to give your viewers the best experience possible. It's also a really good best practice to go ahead and arrange a circle of participants who are actually going to be the ones interacting ahead of time. So for example, today with this nonprofit, I've known for over a week that I would be on here and hanging out with you three today, and it just helps your experience to run a lot smoother if you know that everyone who's going to be participating in your Hangout is aware, that they know how to use a Hangout, what they're going to be doing, and so it just really streamlines the experience and helps everyone to feel a little bit more prepared when they get on the Hangout on Air, because it is broadcasted. So it helps if people can be a little bit prepared and really feel comfortable with what they're doing ahead of time. And also, a few other things to keep in mind is that you do have some moderating capabilities when you're the host of the Hangout on Air. You're able to mute people's mics. If for some reason you needed to kick someone off the Hangout, you do have that capability. So you do have a little bit of control as the host, which is nice. Another capability you have is group chat when you're doing a Hangout on Air. So if you want to be able to chat with the other people in your Hangout, you can do that, and then that's not being recorded and no one is hearing or seeing that in the live broadcast. So it's always good to familiarize yourself with those capabilities ahead of time and to get a practice run in.
If I can jump in, that was what we did for our Hangout that we did with the Jazz Fest. We did a practice run, and then so the event went really smoothly. And again, this is before the Hangouts on Air, but it helped to have someone that was assigned to monitor the process and also interact with the participants. So we had Nikita, who's our tech lead, and he set it up with Max. And what they were able to do is monitor who's coming on, chat with them, address any questions, even ask questions. Nikita would get online and say, hey, is the sound good? How's everybody doing? Thanks for joining us. So we're interacting not just through the Hangout, but also, visually, but also through chat. So it kind of bridges the gap here. It brings people in closer to our event and our experience.
Yeah. And having a moderator is huge. It really helps the flow to run smoothly. So even what we're doing today is a great example. And Scott's moderating, helping to steer the conversation and ask questions, make sure that we have a good flow. So that's a really good best practice as well when you're thinking about hosting a Hangout on Air.
Right. One thing that I was thinking is, as a nonprofit that works with different types of individuals and confidentiality, we have a HIPAA form that they sign when we are advocating for them. It's a form that they, 3 to 6 months out, and to use a comment that they may have, or even to use a picture for them. So I was thinking it might be proactive to have a form about Google Plus that have them sign it and say, give us the permission, even though they're doing it verbal. I mean, they're doing it. You see them, but also to have written consent. I gave my permission to be broadcast on air on Google Plus. That would be something good for organizations that work with different types of populations.
Go ahead, Karissa.
I was just going to say, when you actually get on to participate in a Hangout on Air, you do go ahead and accept the terms and, say, yes, I know that this is going to be broadcasted and recorded, so you are agreeing to that. But certainly if you wanted to take something to the next level within your nonprofit, given what you know about your participants, then that could also be a great idea.
Right.
Scott, I have a quick question. Is this going to be recorded and put then on your Northwest Nonprofit Media YouTube channel?
Yes, it will. Just as Karissa said, when we first start out with these, it goes onto your personal YouTube account. Once this is over, what I'll do is I'll go over there, I'll download it, And in fact, another neat thing is once I upload it over on Northwest Nonprofit Media, not only can viewers see it over there, but I can also take a look at it, and they have an editor in there to where if there's something that you really don't want to see in there, you can cut that out. So it's nice to be able to do that, because there are times maybe there's a lull or maybe something happens that you want to, in the middle of your Hangout, to cut out and to be able to give a better view for all those that want to take a look at it. So those are cool. And those were really good comments too that both Anita and Carol Lee made there. It is important to recognize if you do bring on somebody, maybe they're on camera with you on just your camera, you do want to get their okay about them being on there, because that is vital to them. It is something personal, and hopefully that they will share their story, because that's important too, not only to others who are donating and volunteering, but also to others who may also need the help or whatever services that are available. And Carol Lee made a great one, a comment about using the chat, and it's also a good thing to follow along with the comments under the YouTube. You can go to your YouTube account where it's showing up live, because viewers sometimes will enter comments in there, and if you interact with it, it'll bring in more viewers. And if you have like a weekly show or a monthly or whatever's going on, you'll get more viewers in once you start interacting with them, either there or on Google+, because people from Google+ can come on here also and interact with us via comments. Today, we haven't had any comments or any questions today, so I'm going to turn it over to Carol Lee and Anita to see whether do either one of you have any questions concerning Hangouts on Air, or any products that possibly Google uses for nonprofits for Karissa while she's here today.
Well, I'm actually thinking of inviting some of my friends that have nonprofits and getting them on here and letting them tell their story with you as the host. Would you be up for that?
Sure. Anyone you want to send my way, I'm happy to meet.
Yeah, I was thinking about the same thing. You know, I'm really trying to start it out slowly. I'm really thankful for Scott doing this, because I'm kind of getting acclimated into talking on camera, and so I find it really informative. So I think I'm going to try and take it slow and learn maybe from Carol. Watch what you're doing, watch what Scott's doing, and just even the presence of your background, your noises, and I'm just really trying to do that to be, you know, friendly to who's watching, so what they're seeing, what's going on.
Yeah, I like what you said, Anita. You know, I think it's really great to even see what Northwest Nonprofit Media is doing in creating this really rich community of nonprofit leaders, where expert nonprofit leaders who have been doing this for years and might be really tech savvy can come alongside brand new nonprofit leaders who are just learning the ropes, and for you to all be collaborating, sharing best practices, and helping each other out to all be successful, because, you know, I think every nonprofit in every community has something unique and rich to offer, and so to see you all partnering together is really inspiring. I think it's really great.
Thanks, Karissa. And you know, what you just spoke about is definitely what Northwest Nonprofit Media is about. It is bringing nonprofits together to not only just be able to share stories, but also to be able to share resources, to be able to share marketing ideas, to be able to share positive things and negative things. You know, it's always been something that nonprofits for years would put up a fence, and they would say, this is our nonprofit, we're not going to allow you to understand what we're doing, we're not going to share with you. Today, the nonprofits are starting to share with each other, and hopefully through Google Plus and Google Plus Hangouts, we're going to be able to bring that together on a more live interaction, not just within the Northwest, but now we could do that throughout the world via Hangouts on Air and via the video through YouTube. So it's just an awesome opportunity to bring nonprofits together. And that's what Northwest Nonprofit Media Weekly is about, is weekly at Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll be having a show here. We'll be having special guests similar to Karissa here, and to a couple of nonprofits such as Carol Lee and Anita Watley here. And it's going to be about bringing guests on that will enable to step up your efforts in making a difference in the world for your nonprofit. So if you're interested in joining on and becoming a guest on the show, maybe you know somebody that has a vital service or product that helps nonprofits, that's what this is about. We're able to showcase that for not just one or two nonprofits, but for all nonprofits out there. Next week, Tuesday at 10 a.m., we're going to have a young lady, Vanessa Sedgwick. She is from Help Attack, and we're going to be speaking about Twitter and Twitter marketing and micro fundraising via Twitter and hashtags, and it's going to be an awesome show. I think you'll really enjoy what she's doing there. She's also going to be talking about a 501 club that they have in Seattle that's just starting up, in fact, on Thursday. And if you go to Northwest Nonprofit Media, which is actually nwmpmedia.com, you'll be able to get that information there, where the club's going to be meeting at in Seattle on Thursday. I think it's at 6:30. I don't have that information in front of me right now at this moment. But definitely go to there in a little bit. I'll have that posted on our site, and I'll try to put it on the YouTube comment section also, so that may help you out too. But I want to go over here. I want to thank you, Karissa, so much for being here today and explaining Hangouts on Air to those that may not know about Hangouts on Air, and just to get people involved and number one, for caring about what nonprofits are doing and bringing them on board with Google. And Carol Lee, awesome to hear what you're doing with the young adults over there, and looking forward to hearing more, and not just from the young adults, but also that music. I haven't had a chance to get online. Do you have one coming up in the next week or two?
Mark your calendar, June 2nd, Bellevue Jazz Festival Student Showcase with Fusion at the center stage of Bellevue Square. So we're hoping to do a Hangout on Air for that one, and we'd love to have you join us.
Awesome, Carol Lee. I thought you had one that was going to be plugged in here. And Anita Watley, thank you so much for what you're doing for the women out there that are in need of mentors, the women that just many people tend to forget. They seem the faces of homeless people seem to be always on just men, but it's not just men, it's women, it's children, it's huge. So thank you for what you're doing with Tiny Diamond Earrings. Have you got any special projects coming up?
Well, actually, Saturday we start teaching a class inside the Recovery Cafe called Extraordinary I, and it's I call it a self-esteem builder, but it's actually to teach women how to live in healthy relationships and, you know, live in a lifestyle that they are victorious and that they can just about do anything, and to, you know, come together in camaraderie. So that starts this Saturday inside the Recovery Cafe. You have to be a member, so yeah, I'm excited about that.
Well, thank you very much for all this. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Don't forget to come back in on Tuesday, next week Tuesday, for Northwest Nonprofit Media. We'll once again be talking about Twitter and how it can help your nonprofit in fundraising. So, Karissa, Carol Lee, Anita, thank you very much for being here today. We'll see you all next week.
Thanks.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.